What's up? We're Sunken Hill. My name's Sammy.
I'm Hayden.
And I'm Dom.
And you're on Ink on the Couch. This is the Sesh.
It really started out with Dom and myself kind of jamming to a whole different, jazz and
Whatever.
rock,
Back
blues,
in
whatever. Back in grade 10.
grade 10, we just kind of
'Cause-
got sick of doing the usual thing at lunch breaks. And we both like music.
Yeah.
So we're just like, oh, screw it, let's just jam. And then this guy rocked up the next year
Yeah, in grade 11.
with a bass, and we're like, oh, well, we got drums, guitar, and now we got a bassist.
Three essentials.
But then
Someone who plays bass.
Someone who plays bass. Oh, finally.
I felt with it was more of a collection of songs that we had kind of just been jamming out through the year and the lead up to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just
We had several songs.
Yeah, we had
you
several
know.
songs and we had a chance to release them, and so we took the opportunity and did that.
Yeah, because that was all written while we were in year 11, year 12
Yeah.
sort of time. And we just had to get them out.
Mm.
We just had to put them out in the world. We were trying to get gigs. People need music to hear. And took a shot at it.
I guess we kind of tied them all in together, like
Yeah.
maybe in our own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Looking
oh,
back
that
on
links.
Looking back on it now, like the feelings from that sort of time in our lives, you can sort of draw the dots, like connect the dots rather, that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not at the time. It was a lot of lunchtime jam sessions, and it was about a lot of different things. It sort of went through a lot of changes. But the way that it ended up was about making a judgment about a person that didn't end up being correct, and that judgment actually saying more about me as a person and the way that I sort of approached people than it did about anyone else. Like that was, said more about me.
Yeah.
And that sort of realization.
Just like mistaking people.
For
pretty
sure.
Much. Yeah.
Yeah, the chords themselves though, like the
Yeah.
actual song.
They're like they're open chords, so I guess open
Just yeah.
to yeah.
Open
If
chords.
you're
new
trying to like
openings.
read into that a bit more, I guess.
Whatever.
Yeah. Don't really need to, but yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, I like when I kind of write some stuff or bounce off ideas these guys, I'm usually thinking about the chords and all that stuff and the bass and the drums all but before the lyrics come to me. I think that's kind of different to Sammy though. You kind of have a song in mind, like the actual lyrics. This is he's kind of the guy with
Wordsmith.
he's the wordsmith. If you just say that, words don't come to me.
Poet.
Yeah.
That said, there's a track that will be coming out in a little while that is written and sung by Dom, which
Here we
I'm
go.
super keen to bring out, which would be really cool.
Really good.
Where would you like to play?
I'd love to play at the bigger venues in Brisbane, like the Triffid, Tivoli.
The Tiv would be cool.
The Tivoli would be so cool. And yeah, eventually, if we ever get the chance to play a bigger festival than Brisbane Festival, I guess like all the bands always say Splendour because it's like such a big festival for Australia.
Yeah.
And like just all the other ones that are happening around this time of year, like Woodford.
Yeah, I'd love to do like Grow Your Own or Groove in the Moo or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Sure.
I reckon like it'd be cool to do a bit of a tour.
Hmm.
I think that's a bit of an ambition, like whether it be around Australia or
Just an East
Or-
Coast. Yeah.
like I guess overseas would be pretty mad. I'd
Yeah.
love to do that. Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to Japan.
Yeah,
Maybe
we'd love to go to
maybe
Japan.
we can do that. Yeah.
We'll learn
Because-
Japanese and sing our songs in
Yeah.
Japanese.
There's some Aussie bands that are killing it in like Japan, so maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have a whole song about it. You would
That's true.
And a lot of that for me was about always moving around and not really having like my own sort of hometown where I'd grown up and like sort of got to know properly. So finally having that with Brisbane is something I actually really like, and I love that there is such like a growing, music scene that I'm getting to know better and better all the time. So I'm really happy actually, despite whatever the song, might sort of insinuate, with being here at the moment and being in this scene. But that said, Melbourne's got a lot of cool bars, so
Yeah, I've got my eyes on Melbourne for
Mhm.
for one, and I'd love to check out a bit of like, I guess New York would be pretty sick. But also places in Europe, I guess. But like to grow up in, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm happy growing up in Brisbane because it maybe in some of those other cities might have been a bit too intimidating, you know, like
Yeah, right.
it's a bit more, maybe a bit cozier, maybe better for nurturing people.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe.
You're the Daria guy, right?
I was actually watching a bit of Daria the other week.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know, like, I mean, I can't imagine you'd be able to beat the classics in my eyes.
Maybe they can get us on to do the new theme song.
Yeah.
MTV, if you're out there.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, you're looking at me, all right. Oh, at the moment anyway, because I guess I'm into jazz and all that stuff. There's a jazz drummer that's killing it at the moment by the name of Eric Harland. That's my idol.
Dom studies jazz kit at the con, for those who don't know.
Yes.
Go visit him.
Yeah.
Good fun.
Go see his jazz shows. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mental.
Thank you. Yeah.
Did you have?
Myself, just really, yeah, to do with music, probably artists that have gone out there and just taken the scene. So, you know, people like Michael Hutchins from INXS, just his captivation of a crowd is insane. And it's kind of bad for us to say it, but the Beatles, they're always like the first band we kind of look to as our influence sometimes. Yeah.
Pause.
Cool.
Wait.
The person that would inspire me is probably my dad, actually. Plays guitar, he's a great guitarist, and taught me, like, that's where the inspiration to start learning actually came from. Always grew up with music in the house, and he's a great journalist as well, which is something I want to do. He used to report all over the UK, and yeah, he's made a lot of himself, I suppose, over his life. So if I can be half of that, then I'll be stoked. What are you loving at the moment?
I am absolutely loving Rakan's new EP. That has been stuck in my head for the last few months when they dropped that in October. So yeah, there's been a lot of great local releases lately, and from artists like Bugs with their new track. Yeah, just even the whole year of 2018 has just had so many great Australian releases, like the Skeggs album, and also earlier in the year Hockey Dad and DZ Death Row. So
Yeah. Any stuff you've been liking?
Oh, I guess at the moment I've been checking out a lot of Pavement, a band from like the 90s. So yeah, an album that I've been listening to a lot is Crooked Rain. But that's just like at the moment, changes like every week.
Yeah, totally different thing tomorrow as well. I've been listening to a lot of like hip hop, which has been different for me. I've been teaching myself how to produce like our own music, sort of mix and record a little bit better. And so a way to do that was to start making smaller little beats and like just loops, to like an easier way of just working with sound sort of within like that software. So listening to a lot of that stuff has been pretty cool, like, and different for me. Favorite cartoon character?
Oh, I was always into Spider-Man. That was like my superhero when I was growing up.
Can you tell us why?
You know,
Spider-Man's street level.
Yeah,
Spider-Man's sick because he could be
he's-
anyone, right?
He can
like,
see anyone, yeah, and he just seems in touch with himself. And you know, like he was in high school, and I thought like that was kind of cool, like seeing it from a school level. And I kind of like, I guess, got less interested by the time I got into school because you know, opened up
yeah,
a whole
yeah,
range
then
of
you're already there.
new things. Yeah.
I guess I grew up on SpongeBob. So any of those characters, probably like, yeah, I don't know, appealed to me. I guess it was funny, taught me stuff. But yeah, SpongeBob SquarePants.
I love that bit.
For me, I suppose like I mean, I suppose I'd look up to characters like kids. They always have just kids doing really cool stuff. So I suppose like watching Pokemon when I was like super young. That's a kid, like a 10-year-old kid who goes and travels the world, like at a base level. That's what that story is. And I thought that was cool. And growing up with that, I thought that'd be something I'd want to do, like going on all these adventures. So I suppose Ash Ketchum.
It's a bit of a.
Be nice to yourself.
Mm.
Be nice to yourself. Even just like artistically speaking, I suppose like for me, I've always sort of struggled with like shooting down my own ideas before they even get off the ground, and I think giving myself like the time and yeah, just like the space to be, I don't know, playful with like music and like not shooting down those ideas has been really something I'm working on. That's benefiting me, which I would hope that everyone's nice to themselves. Everyone's their own worst critic, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. But
Yeah, and also in whatever you do, just network and get to know those people around you in whatever industry or type of work you are in. Just, yeah, and be friendly not only to yourself but to those people around you.
for sure.
I'd just say, like, I guess do what you enjoy, you know? Like, if you're not enjoying something, then you might be wasting your time, maybe. Like, you know, life is short, and so why don't you make it sweet and do something you like?
Oh, you can find us on like Facebook and Instagram and Spotify and iTunes and Deezer, and you can Shazam us and all sorts of stuff. But we've got new music coming, like we said, sooner than you might think, so stay tuned. Maybe Spotify, chuck that a follow and you'll just, it'll pop up whenever it does. And yeah, stay tuned, basically. You can listen to our whole EP and all the singles leading up to this new release as well, which are up everywhere. Links will be around. So yeah, thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, cheers.